Hello, everybody. This is Robin with onlytheinspired.com, and we are on day 8 for the onlytheinspired.com Coach Summit, the value of coaching, and I'm super excited to have our coaches on here today. It's going to be a fantastic day. So I don't know if you know me. My name is Robin Leslie, and I created onlytheinspired.com, which is a coaching platform where we have coaches, we have courses and live group coaching, and it is a total engagement site where you can connect with like-minded people, and you could get access to 40 different coaches when we launch in September, and you could do that for less than what it costs for one coaching session with one coach. So it's such a tremendous value, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. So please let us know where you're coming in from, what your name is. And so I highly encourage everybody to do watch parties. If you're going to watch the interviews anyways, just hit watch party and make sure you do it outside of the group. And that way you can invite other people, because honestly, the value of coaching is incredible, and it has taken people out of the darkest places in their lives, and coaching has also brought them up to the highest places in people's lives. So I really want you guys to engage and share the lives, share it, do a watch party, comment, engage, invite people, because this is really going to make a huge impact on thousands of people. So please jump in there and let us know again where you're tuning in from. So today I have two beautiful coaches, and so I'm going to bring on Miss Raya. This is Miss Raya, and what an incredible woman. And her and I, when we first met, we talked about owning our own business, and you work so many hours and you run yourself into the ground sometimes. Entrepreneurship is not for the weak at heart. It is for those that are willing to put in the hours, but sometimes it could overload you so much. And so part of her story is how she went from that, and then now she's doing ecotherapy, which is super cool, and it's basically helping people connect with themselves out in nature. And so this is my nature girl. This is Raya Karin. So I am super excited for her to be here. And then so we're going to play her interview, and then I'm going to bring her back up for questions and answers. So in the chat, there's a little link for the StreamYard, and make sure you click the link so we could see who is commenting, and it should work. It works for most people. And then we're going to have that question and answer session. So you could type in your questions as we're going through the interview, and then we'll go back, and then obviously afterwards she'll be live. And then we will bring on Miss Pamela McCulloch, who is a 2-time cancer survivor, and she has just an amazing story, and she has created a bunch of merchandise that is it's a charity. And so I can't wait for you to hear her story. Just an amazing story. So Miss Raya, would you like to say anything before we get started? Hi, Irene.
Oh, just excited to be here and be a part of this amazing summit. So much work and so many hours have gone in on your part, Robin. It's been beautiful. And just connecting and seeing how many different types of coaches there are, touching, I think, almost every area you can imagine. And, like I said, you and I had lots of connection being business owners and doing all the crazy things that we've done in our lives, and where we are now and kind of where we're heading. So it's really neat to just be a part of this process. I feel very blessed. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm excited. So these coaches haven't seen their interview since we recorded. And so Ray and we recorded this. It was June 10th. So it's almost been 2 months. And so I'm excited for her to see it and excited to share that with you. Irene says hi to both of you. Hi, Irene. And I know Lachelle was on there. That was last night where she's saying looking forward to watching this. So we are going to get started. I am going to play this interview, and Raya, let me know that you hear the sound, and then we'll mute ourselves, okay? All right, here we go. The sound on?
Yep.
Okay, mute yourself. This is Robin Leslie again with onlytheinspired.com doing another amazing interview. I have Miss Raya here, Raya Karin, and she has quite the story of where she came from and what she's doing now. And I think you're gonna really benefit from listening to her story. You're gonna connect and totally feel where she's coming from and how she came out of a really dark place into where she's peaceful and she helps people. So, Miss Raya, in a couple of minutes, describe who you are and how you help people.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I am tuning into all of this all the way from Burns Lake, British Columbia, Canada. So a beautiful little small town. And I'm blessed to be surrounded by nature. I am a mom of 2 daughters, and I've just turned 45, so I'm kind of in that midlife. And I have just started really branching out and following my passion. I've got lots of experience of working with abused women and children and kids in trauma with ADHD, dyslexia, different kinds of learning disabilities. I've been coaching, but I was coaching kind of equestrian and working with animals. So I've come from a farm, and that's how I was born and raised. And so I have a lot of background in that type of coaching as well, and mentoring. And then I worked with kids from basically 0 to 19. And then I've now been branching out into more adults as well, which has been really exciting. Into kind of my private practice has quite a variety of ages I can work with. We can go out into nature with anyone. You can work with animals with anyone. And so my biggest thing here, we experience, I think all over the world, but I notice in my small community, lots of trauma, lots of really hard things that families are going through, lots of stress and overwhelm. Loss is really big as well, especially when you know everybody and it's really small and tight knit, so everybody's kind of connected. And so having, so the trauma isn't just one person, it kind of radiates out in a smaller area, right? So being able to have different tools and a different platform outside of the traditional therapeutic counseling is really a great thing, because I can be mobile, and I can with my animal therapy, I can take my dog to an accident scene if I need to, or to somebody's home. I can travel out into different spaces around me to do the therapy sessions, which is really exciting. So it's been a lifelong dream, probably at least 25, 30 years in the making for me. And I've decided that I wanted to be my own boss again and just step out into my own space in my own world and just create that dream that I've had of having a private practice, coaching practice, mentoring, therapeutic practice, and release it and do the work that I'm super passionate about. So yeah.
Yay. I can't wait to find out more. So how did you get started in this? What event or series of events happened to get you from where you were to where you are now?
I think there's definitely been a series of events. I mean, you can look back at your life and kind of at the timeline of things. I think the last one that was pretty major for myself, my husband, and my daughters as well. We owned a business here locally for 12 and a half years. It was a pub and grill with a liquor store downstairs. And it was kind of my husband's lifelong dream actually to own a business like that. And so we said, hey, what the heck, we'll go for it. Had no idea what we were getting into, of course. And we got into it, and we spent 12 and a half years in that. And I learned how to, I could have probably wrote my red seal to be a full-fledged chef. I ran the kitchen, I did HR, I did all the hiring, firing, which really for an empath and a highly sensitive person is not a fun place to be. You're working with unruly people, you're working with customers, you're constantly multitasking and always on the go. We had 24 staff, so that was really very busy, and you'd get people calling in, not showing up. So you always had to be on the ball. We were open 7 days a week. And so both of us had to be on the ball all the time, on call all the time. So we go camping, we have our phones with us, we'd be at home for a family dinner. We always had to be on alert. And I think over time, we'd have, and another thing with more remote communities is it's really hard to draw in really good staff and people that want to stay, and they have that good work ethic and they want to be a part of it. Also, when it's your business, it's your money, it's your investment, it's your baby. So no one else will treat it the same as you do. So it's very hard to go away, take time off, and actually come down from that and rest. And so what we found is, through all the financial, we went through the 2008, we had a local mill here blow up. We had a whole bunch of really bad financial things that happened kind of globally and within our community through that time. So we were going up and down and on the ebb and flow all the time. And there was never, that financial part was really, that ate a lot of us, a lot of the pieces of us, and kind of digs into your soul, because it's a really big part of you. So we finally, we did everything we could. We remortgaged our house 3 times. We remortgaged another property we had 2 times. We had so many family and friends invested, and we kind of came to a breaking point. We teetered there a couple times. And then we came to one that was, there was no other way. We could not do what we needed to do. There was no funds anywhere. There was nothing we could do. And this was in March of 2017. And we spent the weekend away because our oldest daughter plays hockey. And so we had a decision to make over the weekend. And it was a matter of, the universe was telling us that it was done. And we had to then tune in, be at trust and listen, which wasn't always easy because we were solution oriented. We wanted to find a solution. We wanted to fix it. We didn't want to look like a failure. So we had to make the big decision that we, as a family, the girls needed us. We needed each other. We needed to take charge of our own lives and be willing to save ourselves, basically, is what we had to do. So when it came time, that on March 17th, we basically put on our big girl pants and we walked, down the street across to the bank and went in with the keys. And we hadn't told anybody yet. We had told the one lady who was managing for us. We brought her to the home and we told her in person because she deserved that. She'd been there with that business through all the owners. So we went in there and sat down with the banker and we put the keys on the desk and we said, we're done. We have nothing left in us. Our tanks are empty in every meaning of that word. And we need to just, here it is, you do what you make. Because we could either go bankrupt, which was complicated because business bankruptcy is complicated, but we would have also each had to do personal bankruptcy. So we didn't have $100,000 to do that because right? So this was what we were encouraged to do. It is what felt right. And here's the other thing. We also know everybody. So it was very scary to make that decision because you knew there was going to be rumors and judgment and all those things. But deep down, we knew in our hearts and in our souls that it was the right thing. We needed to release ourselves. No one else could do it. We gave it everything we had, all of our blood, sweat, and tears. And so together we linked arms and we made the hardest decision I think we've ever made. And after, the banker was in tears because she knew us. And she said, I'm really proud of you. I know how hard this was for you guys to come here and do this. This has been your baby, but you can't do this anymore. And she supported us, which was really lovely. And, we all had a good cry about it. And, it's taken time. It's only been just over 3 years. That kind of a decision is absolutely life altering. It had me at rock bottom. And I don't know that I realized until we made that decision how exhausted and burnt out I was. I knew it was going to save my husband from dying. It was going to kill him. He would have died there. And I didn't want that. And my girls need us, right? So, and we all need each other. So, we had to start all over. And that was really scary because I knew, I had already kind of had a job. I started a few months ahead of time knowing that I had to branch out. I had to kind of get my foot outside of there. So I had gotten another job as a therapy assistant, and I had finished, I was working on my degree at the same time, trying to finish my degree as well as owning a business, which was complicated. So I had little irons in the fire in other places, but, I also knew that everything that I was used to trying, because I went into fitness and I was, doing half marathons and obstacle races and all these kinds of things through the time of the pub while also having kids. And nature saved me, physical activity saved me from the stress and the overwhelm of everything. But when we let go, I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't even work out. I couldn't go mountain biking. I couldn't go hiking. And I couldn't quite figure out why. Mm-hmm. And my body just couldn't do it. I was emotional. I was in tears all the time. I mean, I was grieving, of course, right? Because that was our thing that we put everything into. So you go through that process of grieving and overwhelm and fear and scarcity, because how the hell were we going to make a living? What were we going to do? How were we going to keep our home? All those questions. And I think so many of us go through them, and until you actually go through it, you have no idea what it actually feels like. And each individual person will go through something different. And so I really had to take time. My husband took 4 months to sleep, to eat properly, to grieve, to rest, to do carpentry, to get into mountain biking, to do all of these things so he could find himself again, which was amazing. We had that availability for him to do that. And, he's back on his feet. He's doing amazing. He's helping manage a company here locally, and he's just in a wonderful spot. But we had to hit that ugly to be able to bounce back and find what we needed to move forward. Mine's taken a bit longer, and I'm still on that journey, and I think I might be for a while, but that's okay. So I reached out finally. I'm not always good at asking for help. I think some of us like to just carry it all on our shoulders and pack that load in that little red wagon and fill it up.
Yeah.
And I finally had to ask for help because my job wasn't going well. I wasn't feeling good. I wasn't sleeping. Nothing was really working for me. And so I reached out and went to see actually a live blood doctor specialist. And so he was the one who looked at me, and he had no history, no story of my life, because he didn't want to know it. He just wanted to read my blood. And he looked at me, and he was the second person who said this. And he said, "How long have you been suffering from PTSD?" And I just, what? And then I knew what he meant. And I literally just broke down crying. And then the next breath, he said, "Your adrenals are absolutely tapped out. Like, you are beyond exhausted." And he just kept going through my whole body. He said, "If you continue on where you are going to become very sick," which would include cancer and disease and all of those kinds of things. So I knew that in my body. I couldn't figure out how to fix it. So I reached out to somebody that I thought, there's a few people locally that had gone to see him, traveled to see him. So I trusted their their input, and I went out and did that. And then through that, I realized, so I started on a plan with him. I realized that I needed to reconnect in the way that my husband kind of had started to do in his 4 months. And I needed to go back to what always had made me happy and where I felt the most grounded and connected. And so then I was able to take my anxiety, my panic attacks, my depression, my PTSD, my adrenal fatigue. All the list is long because my cup was overflowing. It was there was nothing left. And the other aha moment for me was, my husband's also on the local fire department. He's been a volunteer for 25 years, and we had somebody come into the department to do some training on PTSD and fatigue. He went through the training and started to explain things. That was my other aha moment, that I had hit that bottom and I was completely and utterly exhausted, and I needed to figure out how to fix that. And so I went to some kind of non-traditional counseling. I got into yoga, which was really nice with the meditation. I started getting back into mountain biking, which I loved, getting back out into nature and the trails. So fortunate to live where we do, so I could go out every day and just really go back to that little girl in me who always found such peace and calm amongst nature and animals. And that's where I kind of came up with the roots to wellness. Is that is my roots. That's who I am, and that's always what saved me from all the hard things when I was younger. So kind of going deep within through the meditation and through all the things that I was trying brought me to that place and that moment when I realized I had what it take. I had the tools, and I kind of knew where to go, and all the kinds of people that I'd like to pull in on my journey to help me. And then in turn, they were going to teach me and share with me the great skills and build my toolbox so that I could go out and then, share that same knowledge and share that space with others that are going through the same thing. So I can talk about it now, not breaking down in tears most times, but it's still very much there. It's still there. It's a piece of it, right? It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we ever fully, I don't know, fully heal 110%, but you find ways that feel right, that feel good, that things that you can do that really just fill up your soul and make you feel joyful and happy and content and grounded. And those are the things that we all need to find in our lives, because we've become so disconnected and so we're just on, and that's what happened when the world stopped, is that we've all been on this kind of roller coaster, rat race, whatever, hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, for so long. And I'm just one person that has gone through one thing, but there's so many people who have experienced similar type situations. And just knowing that there are other people out there that have had similar experiences, that they've gotten through to the other side, they've gotten through that muck, and they've survived, and they've thrived, and they've become, really strong, resilient people. It's just so comforting to know that, and to realize that community is huge, and there's so many health coaches and beautiful people that we can kind of surround ourselves with, and it's beautiful. And I think that's what I'm most excited about when I look at my private practice and the work that I'm doing, is that excitement and that joy that I have with that surrounding me, and finally finding myself again, that I get to share that, because that's such a beautiful gift, and I'm so excited to share it.
I love that. Well, and so for everybody listening, we did an interview before, and we didn't have enough time to get into her story, and I really wanted her to explain her story more, because so many people are gonna connect, and I absolutely do. I had tears in my eyes when I was listening, because I had a beauty salon. I was a bartender who bought a beauty salon, had no idea about business. Almost the exact same day I bought the salon, I got pregnant. And then when she was 4 months old, I bought this body wrap thing. So I'm doing beauty salon, bartending, baby, and body wraps. And, you know, the whole time I was pregnant with her, I had like 10 days off total because I had my job and I had my bartending. And then I added the body wraps to it. And I was, you know, the janitor and the receptionist and all this kind of stuff. I remember being so tired. You know, it would be Mother's Day. What can I get you for Mother's Day? All I wanted was a nap. And I was so tired and so stressed. And it was one time in my life where I just would clench my jaw because I was so stressed out. And you have to try and pretend to not be stressed because you have and I didn't have employees. They were all independent contractors, but you got to try and keep your cool and try and, you know, stress that the power bill's not, you know, that the power's not going to get shut off and have everybody know. And so a whole bunch of stress and shame and guilt and exhaustion, just so much exhaustion. And I think there's so many people that go through that and they feel probably very alone because, you know, they don't know who else is dealing with that kind of thing. So I'm glad you brought that to the light because, you know, owning your own business, especially a physical business, is not a walk in the park. It is hours upon hours, and sometimes you don't get any days off. And so I appreciate you sharing that. And very cool. So how do you, and you know, we have lots of questions. Let's see. I want to know a little bit more about how you help people with the nature thing, and then describe what your ultimate vision for your business is.
So with nature therapy, ecotherapy, or even forest bathing, you're taking your more traditional therapies, which are you know, your psychotherapy, your counseling in a space. I'm taking it outside of those four walls, and I'm taking you out into nature to really kind of tune in to being present, being grounded. That's tuning into all of your senses that are out here, and also finding as you're going through that, like we're not going out to exercise, we're going out to be in nature. So it's all about being and being present, being aware and having that self-awareness of your surroundings, being able to disconnect. So we don't take our phones, we don't take any electronics. We just want to go and experience, like, hear the sounds of the birds, feel that breeze on your face, the warm sun, or if it's raining, the beautiful raindrops, you know, running on your face or down, you know, your bare feet. If we're out in a beautiful, you know, area where you can be bare feet, having that bare feet connecting that kind of energetically to the earth. And if we're in the forest, we're connecting to the trees, and you can do some energy and grounding work with the trees as well, which is really beautiful. I usually have it, depending on the person, I kind of let it be driven by the person that I'm working with. So I have some ideas of things that I would like to work with each person, because I'll get to know a bit of their story. So when I can do it in person, we go out together and we talk. Usually a lot of the people that I've been working with have been with anxiety, panic attacks, depression, a little bit of trauma. A lot of women going through really harsh divorces lately and separations, which you know, that is not easy at all. It really can uproot your life. So trying to find a way that they can ground and connect. And through that, grounding and connecting, you're able to, it's the same as meditation, very similar. So you can do that. You can do different forms of meditation while you're doing it. And you're really able to go deep within yourself and find those places that you really want to work on and heal. And a lot of, you know, I let the conversation be intuitively driven. So I don't necessarily have a bunch of set questions, but I kind of know what they want to get from the session, or maybe what they're looking for, or, you know, why they're hurting, or why they've come to me, right? So, but it really is about whatever comes. It's amazing what happens when you're out there and you're just experiencing and tuning into all your senses. The conversations lead to the questions, lead to the aha moments of, oh my God, my sister and I had this event happen when we were, really young. Oh my, I just remembered it. That's why I can't have that connection. Or, I remember almost being run over by a car. And when I was, 6 years old, like there's all these things. It's amazing when you can disconnect from all that chaos and all that constant feed at you, where you can go deep into that. You'll do some inner child healing, you'll do some trauma healing, you don't really know where it's going to go because it's not as structured, but it goes naturally where it should go, if that makes any sense. And it's a place, nature and the forest, you could be at waterfalls, you can be at the lake, or you can be anywhere in nature. And it allows you to let your guard down that you've held up to try to protect yourself for so long. And you are safe, you're protected, and you can literally have that time and space. And I like to set a nice big time space for our sessions, because people need more time. An hour very often is just not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't like to I like to take some of those limits away, which I find is very helpful, because people, they're used to schedules. We're used to working that, you work these hours. Even if you own a business, you are there at 7 a.m., you go home at midnight, whatever it is. Like we are all very structured. So taking that structure away and putting that stress, just putting it away, putting it aside for a little while, and putting that person that needs, that little voice that needs to say, oh, well, no, you can't have this time. Just saying, we don't need you right now. You get to go over there. We're going to go over this way, and we need to have some time. So creating that really safe, non-judgmental healing space is what's really important to me. And I'm so fortunate to live in an area where we have the abundance of so many beautiful spaces. And when I'm working with people online, I can go out into these spaces and I can bring people in virtually to my space. So it's a different way of doing it, but we can spend the time. I can, be doing a video chat usually is what happens, because then we can see each other. They can enjoy my nature space, and then I bring them in that way. And we can do similar things. I can give them techniques and different things that they can go and find a beautiful green space, a park, or a water space or a river, whatever is near them. And then I can give them exercises to go and try and do. And then I also have the animal assisted therapy. So then I'm doing that whole thing, but I'm also now bringing my therapy dog with me, and she'll come along. If people are comfortable, she'll come along with us, and she will hold space with usually that person. If they're with anxiety or trauma, they're really intuitive. And so she's being specifically trained to work with all of the things that I've experienced. So she's really in tune with me, which is really lovely. Mm-hmm. And he's in tune with all of my emotions, and they're very intuitive with people as well. And so she will come and be kind of that, if they're comfortable, people are comfortable with it, she will lay with them, she'll snuggle with them. She's very calm, she's very nurturing and loving. And so she's another tool that will help them to ground and to have that safe space to share their story, to start their healing journey. So that's a really wonderful thing that we've started as well. And I take her everywhere with me, and she's already helped me with one really bad anxiety attack through this whole COVID thing. And it came out of nowhere for me. And I was doing everything I knew. I was doing my breathing. I went outside. I did my grounding. I did some yoga poses that are really great for anxiety and panic attacks. And I was doing a couple things inside and on the floor. And she came and laid beside me. And she was just not even 4 months at this time, laid beside me, right up against me with her head on my tummy. And then all of a sudden, after about 15 minutes, she went away, went into the living room. She actually got sick, like she threw up, came back and laid with me again. So she literally was drawing all the energy from me, taking it, went out there, deposited the energy, because this never happened at all, and she has never happened since. So, and then she came back in, and then she snuggled right up with me again until I was done. And it was just beautiful. She knew exactly what to do. She didn't get hyper. She didn't go crazy. She was able to be. And so that's a really wonderful experience for people who need that extra warmth, and that that it's like giving somebody a really good hug that just needs it, that is going through something. It's that same idea in nature and with animals, is just really being able to embrace them and help them to because it's not easy to share your story with somebody. It's not easy to be vulnerable, like you and I have been. I mean, sharing the pieces of your story, I'm like, yeah, there's 100 things more I could share about mine too, and it comes over time. And I remember the first time I went to see somebody in traditional counseling, it took me all I could do to go. And she's non-traditional in the work she does, but she is considered a mental health therapist. And I've known her for 20 years. So maybe that, I was like, oh, I can't tell her that I'm broken. She's known me. She's mentored me. She's, so it's okay to ask for help. And I think the biggest thing that we have inside of us is that permission. We have to give ourselves, no one else can give us permission, but we can give ourselves permission to seek the help that we want, to seek the help that resonates with us the most, and be willing to hold space for ourselves in compassion and love and understanding, so that we can heal, because we do deserve that. And it's the most beautiful journey for each person. It will be beautiful in a different way and unique. But it's always, well, it's that I don't have time, I can't, whatever. So just don't be afraid to give yourself permission at the end of the day, because it'll be the most beautiful gift that you give yourself, is the gift to heal.
And it's okay to not burden, or to not carry the burden all by yourself. And sometimes just
exactly.
one conversation with somebody is like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. And a lot of people are very protective of their story, and they don't want to be vulnerable. And what I've realized with all my personal growth is when you are vulnerable, it feels like you're free, and that's when people connect with you the most. And instead of, I'm strong, I got this, I have no issues. When you're vulnerable and you say, yeah, I'm struggling with this, I'm dealing with this, and people go, me too, or, I'm there for you. And it just is very freeing not to hold that in anymore. I think it'll create all sorts of bad stuff in your body if you'll hold it in and never let it out. And it's scary. It's scary to let it out. And there's some things that I've never shared about some of my struggling with my salon that, it's embarrassing to me, but at the same time, I know I'm not the only one that's been through that kind of thing. And it's very freeing to let it go. So what beliefs do you have that set you apart from your competition? And I'm a collaboration, not competition kind of girl, but we all have our own little perspective or place that we're coming from. And you're the first person that I've heard of that does the ecotherapy. And so what are your thoughts on that?
I just, and I kind of spoke to it a little bit. I really come from a place of, obviously, experience, because I've gone through things, a place of that, really holding such an open place of compassion and understanding, because I think that's a really big thing we need to have for each other, is that awareness and understanding that non-judgment is huge. And holding that place, because when people are vulnerable and they're sharing and they're seeking someone to work with, they want to know that they're safe, they're not judged, they can be vulnerable. You're going to give them the gift of time to heal. Like, we don't have to, okay, well, you get one session and you're healed. Having that is huge for people, because if you can give them that, show them that way, then they can take all the time that they need. We're on a life journey, and we might take one little step one day, and then maybe tomorrow we'll take another, and then the next day we'll take 10. Like, there's nothing set in stone. And I think for me, what I've found that really stands out for me and from kind of the work that I do is not being like extremely structured and rigid. I really back off of things like that because it isn't who I am. And it actually makes me feel very anxiety ridden because I've had to have a lot of that structure and kind of stuff around me that I didn't really like and I didn't function well under. So, I mean, you obviously want to have tools and you want to have, you know, some good tips and tricks, and you want to have kind of an idea of where you're going with somebody, but not super, okay, this is the only thing we can do and you have to use this therapy because it's going to get you where you need to be. I like to just let people understand, learn to trust their intuition again, learn to trust themselves and their gut feeling, because I think that's another thing that we really have lost within kind of the world today, is having that time to sit with ourselves and listen to our bodies, because man, it speaks loudly. The universe and our bodies and our intuition really speak to us very clearly. And the space that I hold and the work that I do allows people to get back in touch with that again, so that, you know, there's a lot of people right now sitting where I was in March of 2017 going, I don't want to do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. What the heck do I do with my life?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? That's totally okay. You can totally feel that way. It is totally normal to have all of the feelings you'll go through. But there's also the fact that you get to make choices, and we all get to make choices, and we can make changes. And so I'm very open and supportive, and, you know, I love to share energy with people. And like I said, I love to really show them, like, it's almost like you're putting a mirror up to somebody, but you're not quite, and just showing them, like giving them the gift of like, here is what you can be. Here's all you can be. It's okay that you've been lost for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. And having that permission and that guidance, and really what I am is a guide, and I'm going alongside you. I can't do the work for anyone, but I can guide you, and I can walk alongside, and I can be your mentor and support and show you tips and tools and tricks. So instead of thinking of, you know, a big textbook of psychotherapy, I'm not going to go through that and go through, you know, every theoretical thing. I'm going to use different things that I've learned, but I'm going to allow it to be very naturally driven. And that's where you know, going back to our roots, because we all have that. We all have that natural ability to heal ourselves from anything. We have that ability to grow and change and make choices. And I think that's showing people that again, and showing them and giving them that space to have the ability to do that is really what I'm really passionate about, because I was shown many of those things, and still people that I'm, you know, collaborating with and I'm meeting, and everybody has their own unique way of doing that. And it's so beautiful. So I think it's also about energy. You know, people that are going to want to work with me are going to relate to my energy and my story or stories, different layers of that story, right? And they're going to want to be able to, we've got one chance at this whole amazing thing that we've got here on earth, and let's make the very best of it. Let's follow our dreams and our passions and go for it, because we have nothing to lose and everything to gain at the end of the day, right?
Right.
So,
well, and sometimes when you do hit that wall and you feel like you are so overwhelmed, sometimes you have to hit the wall before you make that change.
Absolutely.
And so everything happens for a reason. And we're getting a little short on time, just letting you know. So what was the hardest thing to overcome when starting your business?
Oh, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of judgment, that maybe good enough and I couldn't do it. I also have ADHD and dyslexia, so I've struggled with those my whole life. So staying focused is hard, but also, you know, it's putting yourself out there. You are very vulnerable when you do that, but knowing that those who really matter the most are gonna support you the most, and are going to kind of give you that little nudge that you need to push you out there. And like I spoke just a little bit ago, it's about a choice. If I want that dream that I've had for a long time to come out into fruition, and I want to help people in a different way than I have been, I'm the only one who can do that. Nobody else can actually do that for me. So I had to be willing to take a really deep breath and go, okay, you know what? It's now or never, because I need to do this. Not I need to, I really want to, and I love it. It lights me up. It makes me feel like so much energy and so excited. And so when I feel that feeling inside of me, and I'm smiling, and I just have that amount of energy surrounding me, I know I'm in the right place. So I keep that with me and kind of keep that pushing me forward, because it is really scary. Any kind of change, any kind of new thing is super scary, but it is so worth it. Every step of the way, every person you meet, everyone you learn from, every mentor, coach, stranger on the street, whatever, it doesn't matter. It is, if you can encompass all of that inside of that journey, it is like one of the most amazing things you'll ever go on. And I think fear stops us from so many things.
Mm-hmm.
The unknown, and you're taking a risk, but you are the one taking a risk on yourself. And I think through the work I do, when people are kind of coming to the end of it, and they found themselves again, they have that courage to take the risk on themselves.
Yeah.
So, it is scary, but it's so worth it.
All right. Let's see. And quickly, and I'm quite sure that you have this, and you've been back and forth, I think. So, do you have the support network of friends and family encouraging you to do this, or are you knowing that this is something you need to do and doing it no matter what anybody else says?
I would say a mixture of both. Everybody has been very supportive of me, but in the beginning, I think they were kind of going, is she really going to do this? Is she actually going to step out? And, they were kind of waiting, but that, like, holding their breath, waiting to see if I was actually going to do it. And like I said, one day I just finally had to look in the mirror and go, Raya, you can so do this. You don't need anybody else's approval. You only need your own approval. And this is your baby. Nobody else understands it. Nobody else is going to get it like you do. And if you want to do what you want to do, and you want to reach people around the world and go on that journey and be a coach and a healer and a mentor, you need to do it. And so it was a very interesting conversation I had to have with myself. And I mean, I really do have beautiful support. And when I realized that, when I come from that really good place in my heart and that energy, the people that come out of nowhere to, speak with me, to work with me, to learn from me, to have a friendship, whatever it is so beautiful. And every day that happens more and more, I think it just fills my cup, and it just fills me with more and more joy. And that is the most amazing thing about it. So there's no looking back now.
Yay. Well, and yeah, we could be our own critic. And sometimes we have to do it, I'm the only one that believes in this. I'm doing it anyways. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yep.
Let's see. So, what is your favorite thing about your business?
My favorite thing is I get to be really, truly who I am, and really authentic to what speaks to my heart and to my soul. And one thing I did learn from our business is I really enjoyed being my own boss. And I really like just working with myself. Eventually down the road, I will have people working with me, and kind of when I'm really doing a lot of the one-on-one and face stuff, and kind of doing my groups, and I want to venture out and kind of do retreats and all that kind of stuff. So when I'm that busy, I will have, people working with me that are like-minded, being able to do some of the things I can't. But the best thing is I get to choose. It's my choice. I get to paint this beautiful picture however I see it. And I get to share that with every single person that I could, around the world. So I think that's the most exciting, amazing part about it. And I'm the author of my own book, right? So
exactly. Yay.
Yeah.
Yes. And sometimes it takes us wanting to express our voice and our voice not being heard multiple times before it's like, screw it, this is my thing. I am going to paint it however I want and nobody's going to say anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So one big question. So if you could leave one tip or one golden nugget for the people listening, and it was the only thing you could tell them and your only chance to say it, what would that be?
You're worth it. And the journey starts with you, and you have the choice to make that, you have the choice to start that journey today.
And it doesn't matter what happened in the past or
Nope.
how overwhelmed you are. Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and absolutely, you're totally worth it. And we all have our own gifts that we need to share and connect. And yeah, so I love that you're helping people heal from all of, whether it's just overwork, trauma, PTSD, all that kind of stuff. I think that's beautiful. And how you're doing it is beautiful. So is there anything else that you would like to share before we tell them about your giveaway?
The biggest thing for me is that I've shared with a lot of people, especially during this really stressful time, is even if you can't get out in nature, I've taken everybody out here so they can hear the birds and just be a part of my space. But if you can open a window, you can see a green space, you have plants, you have the sunshine coming through your window. You don't actually have to go physically right out and immerse yourself in nature to get the effects of what it does. Opening your window, feeling the breeze, feeling the warm sunshine, sitting by your plants, having whatever it is, you have pieces of nature. Even if you have a little park right beside you, go out into that park barefoot and sit. There's always something available to you. Just you have to sometimes think outside the box and be willing to try it on and to see. So that's one thing I help people with too, is, when people who are living in big cities and they're feeling that overwhelm, how do we get them to where they need to go? And how can I share that differently? Because not everybody can get out here, right? So
right,
that's a big thing. Yeah.
Awesome. So Miss Raya is giving away a free 20-minute consultation. So, and we're doing the Raya Karin roots to wellness.ca and then /discovery, right? Yeah. Okay. So all you have to do is go to Raya Karin Roots to Wellness. So it's RayaKarin and then /discovery. And there you could put in your contact information and sign up to get a 20-minute consultation with her. And, maybe just feel her out. And, she's been through a lot. She can help you overcome so many things. I highly, highly encourage you to go there, sign up for the 20-minute consultation. And please, if there's anybody that you feel that needs to hear her message, because there's so many of us who have been through that, where your body can't handle anymore and you don't know what steps to take. And, is it medication? Is it, there are ways to heal without that. And if you feel like you're overwhelmed or know other people, please share this video and, let's help as many people as we can. So I appreciate you so very much. And I'm glad that we recorded this, because your story is so impactful. And I, for one, completely resonate with it. And I absolutely love that. Thank you very much for being here. And thank you, everybody. We appreciate you. Share the video and go to Raya Karin Roots to Wellness.ca /discovery and sign up for that 20-minute consultation. So thank you very much, everybody. Bye, Miss Raya.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello.
Hello, hello. You hear me? Yeah?
Yep.
Okay, there you are. I couldn't hear you.
Yes, I can.
What a powerful interview, huh? I
Good. It's nice to be able to watch it back.
Yeah, was it weird for you or was it good?
A bit of both.
Biddable. Yeah, I thought it was super powerful. And, when you're talking about just how depleted you got after, when you were at the point of shutting down your business, again, watching it today, totally, absolutely resonate with you. And, yeah, and so did Irene for sure. Irene had to shut down her hair salon after she got in her accident, and I know it was super emotional for her. So let's look at some of the comments. If you guys have any questions whatsoever for Raya, and I'm sorry I keep saying Raya. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. So let's see what we got right now. So Janet McKay, hello, awesomeness. So excited to see you, Raya. You're doing so amazing. So much more connection with nature, its energy since meeting Raya and working with her. Incredible. Yay. Nice testimonial, huh? And she's saying allows for energy to flow as you guide your clients to allow for nature's energy to guide them. So powerful. Yay. And Amber's here. She said, great share. Thank you. And she agrees. Yeah, such a powerful interview and message. And I love what you're doing with all of the different things. And you didn't really in the interview touch too much about what you're doing on the outside, working with the kids with the special needs and stuff like that. It's just, you're on such a beautiful mission. And I bet you're not depleted anymore, but there's still a little recouping. But so a question for you, and I'm one of those who's unsure about my intuition sometimes. So how do you, because a lot of people are very intuitive, and like you were saying in the interview, how it's loud and clear when intuition talks to you. So can you go into that a little bit more? Because for me, it's not necessarily loud and clear. And
I think what's really interesting for me is that when we're really, can you hear me?
Yeah, there's just a delay.
When we're really young, we have that intuition and that knowing, and we trust it a lot more. And as we go through life and life happens to us, things around us change that, we start to lose that and kind of listen to the chatter on the outside more. And when you really sit with yourself, especially I find when you're grounding in nature or through meditation, you're actually able to stop all that outside influence and really tune into kind of that peace inside that does have the answers, because we all do have those answers in us, and we just don't trust them anymore. And so when you're in that state, and you're able to go in and actually trust that and listen to that little voice that is saying, I kind of don't think we need to be doing this, or maybe this is the right door to go through, because life just gets chaotic and gets really busy. We just have so many other influences that we don't have that space to tune in. So doing the work that I do, and even just a slight little meditation for people, can open up that door to that space where you can to listen to that. It's that inner guide, that inner voice that we all have. Maybe you shouldn't go on this trip, and maybe you didn't go on a trip, and something bad did happen. You knew you shouldn't go, so you actually stayed home. There's things like that. Like, that's maybe a little extreme, but there's lots of little things. If you pay attention to the signs and actually trust them, that's the other piece, is trusting that knowing that you have inside of you. So I think for each person it looks a little bit different, but holding space for it again. And like I was saying in the interview, disconnecting from the chaos to reconnect within yourself is really huge. And then it starts to grow. The more you listen to it, it's like listening to your body. You know when you're sick and you're not well, right? So trusting that again. And it's just you have to get away from that chaos and be able to just let it go for a while so you can come back to yourself, come back to your roots. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And being outdoors, yeah, especially in nature, maybe not next to a busy street, but being outdoors where it's quiet and you hear nature talking, it's very peaceful. And yeah, and I think, yeah, for me, going back to that question is, half the time I don't know if it's intuition or my own thoughts. So it's like, which one do I listen to? You got your conscious mind going, maybe I should make this happen versus allowing things to happen. So yeah, I absolutely love what you're doing. You have such a beautiful message. So what is your husband doing now? So he's still the volunteer firefighter.
He's still doing that. Yes, he loves it. I don't think he'll ever give that up. And then he is still assistant managing that company that he's working for in the construction building industry. So they travel quite a bit. They're actually in a really, really remote place right now, working for about 2.5 weeks. And he's loving it. He runs his own crew. He's just flourished. I mean, he's healed from so many things. He makes a phenomenal employee. He is really dedicated to what he does. He's great with the customers and with training staff and stuff like that. So he's really hit a place for himself where he's kind of found pieces that were missing through the business that when he was completely burnt out and broken, and his cup was absolutely overflowing. So it's been beautiful to watch him. He's exhausted at the end of the day, but he's exhausted in a good way. That he's been, his cup is full. He feels good. He's doing what he loves to do. And then he also now, when he's home, he's home. He has time to just disconnect from it. There's no extra responsibilities. And he can be that, go mountain biking, be with the family. We can go camping, doing all those things without having that little, like I said, your phone on 24/7 or always being needed for something. Now he's where he wants to be and being needed for what he wants. So it's a big difference. It's been 3.5 years now. So it's wonderful.
Good. I totally understand that. I just want everybody to know this is a place where we understand entrepreneurship and that it's not always easy. And sometimes it's the hardest thing that you can do. Hi, Miss Christina. And whether that be your online business or a physical business. And so this is a place for us to kind of connect and understand and embrace each other and understand what people have gone through, and know that if you are in a place of ultimate shutdown, physical shutdown, like Raya was in, like I've been in before, that there are ways out of it. And that is one of the reasons why coaches are here, to help you get through that, to help you keep your head above water. And right now is a super tough time for small business owners. They've all been getting hit so hard. There are some businesses thriving right now, but most of the small businesses are super duper struggling. And so we are here for you, and we understand. And please pay attention to the value of coaching, because they can help you get through that. They can help you recover. They can help you focus your direction somewhere else. So I appreciate everything you're doing. And please, everybody, start a watch party, share, invite your friends. The messages that these coaches have is just absolutely beautiful. And I encourage you to invite as many people as you can, share, do a watch party. And And make sure later on that you share this message, because her interview, made me cry the first time, made me cry this time. And so, there's so many of us that are in that space. And so I appreciate you again. Thank you very much. Now, just a reminder, all of the coaches are going to be in the group, in the Coach Summit group. And so you can reach out to Raya and ask her questions, or, pick her brain or whatever. She will be in the group. And so let's see. So we're doing a free 20-minute discovery call, right?
Yep.
And that's going to the Raya Karin roots to wellness.ca/discovery.
Yeah. And they can also private message me too. That's fine as well.
Okay. And then so in the Facebook group, under the post topics will be the giveaways. And so I will have her contact information in that place for you. And that way you can you'll have the website, you'll know what you're going to get. And then again, you could just reach out to her right there in the group and ask questions, or book that appointment through her through a private message, or even in the group, whichever. So thank you very, very much again. Yay. You're welcome. And we will see you later in the group.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye. Okay, so Miss Pamela is gonna meet with us after her interview, and so she'll be here for questions and answers. I'm super excited to share her interview with you. And she's a 2-time cancer survivor, and her story is amazing. And I highly encourage you to, again, share, do a watch party, and really just listen to the message. These coaches are absolutely beautiful, and the value that they give is amazing. So I'm getting ready to share her video, so hang on tight. And if you have any questions, put them in the chat and let us know where you're coming from, what your name is, where you're tuning in from, and then we will answer those questions in a little bit. So hold on one second. This is Robin Leslie again with onlytheinspired.com, and I have the beautiful Miss Pamela McCulloch here today, and she has quite the story. She's a 2-time cancer survivor, and she's got some very, very cool stuff to share with us, and an amazing giveaway at the end. So, Miss Pamela, in a couple minutes, please describe who you are and how you help people.
Thank you so much, Robin. First, I want to say it's an honor to be here with you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Welcome.
And hello, everybody out there. Again, my name is Pamela, and my job and purpose in life is to give hope and encouragement to people everywhere that are fighting cancer. And while fighting 2 nasty cancers, I was given a 50-50 chance to make it, and I truly am a miracle. I survived late stage colon cancer, and a year later it came into my liver. And after many major surgeries and a lot of prayer and a lot of fighting and chemo, today I am 6 years cancer free. And
Yay.
Thank you. And again, my purpose is to take what God put me through and to share. there's got to be a purpose when anybody goes through anything. And my purpose is to do that, to give the hope and encouragement. Now in September, I have a book coming out that is going to do so. And I encourage anybody that is going through it or has a loved one going through it to pick up this book, because it will share with you God's peace that passes all understanding. When you're getting ready to have your liver taken out and cut up, it's so surreal that you don't know how you're going to get through it. And I encourage others to know that if you have God by your side, you can do anything. So in the meantime, I also manufacture positive merchandise for people to wear that claims to be cancer free. And I just happen to have my logo here and one of my pieces of merchandise. It's a beautiful hat, and it is the C-free, cancer-free. And if you can see, it's the unbound ribbon. So my goal is to unbind the silly cancer ribbon with hope and positivity.
I love that. That's awesome. And yeah, you said there's a F cancer brand out there, and it just didn't resonate with you, and so you so you have a more positive spin on that, and I love that. So what is the name of your book that's coming out?
It's called Midlife Cancer Crisis. And I thought I was going through a midlife crisis, menopause, because my stomach was getting bigger and I wasn't feeling well. And in the end, it turned out to be cancer. So it's kind of a play on words, but I really went through both at the same time. Midlife crisis, midlife cancer, and menopause. So that's the name of the book, and it'll be out September 1st.
If one isn't enough of those just by themselves.
Yes.
I know with me, at work when I have my mask on and I'm having a hot flash, it makes it a whole different reality.
Yes, it is.
The hot air into your mask, yeah, it's crazy. So, not obviously, we kind of know how you got started in this business, but how did you get started? What happened with you to make you want to take your experience with those two different kinds of cancers? And they're, those are critical, the colon cancer and the liver cancer, those are critical and super scary. I'm sure that had to be super scary. So how did you go from experiencing that to wanting to switch and actually help others?
Very good. And I think you touched on it a little bit. C-Free was born, and the idea of making positive merchandise was born actually the same day that I found out that the cancer had gone into my liver. And I got the phone call, and I went to take a walk because I didn't know how to tell my son and my people, and I was just overwhelmed with distress. And I was walking, and I came upon a 5K run for cancer research, and a fundraiser.
Right.
And I saw a group of people, and I'll never forget, there was about 10 of them, and they all had light blue shirts on with black lettering that said F-U-C-K, cancer. And right then I kind of had to agree with it in my mind, but I wasn't going to claim it. And I certainly wasn't going to display that to the world. I knew right then that I needed to overcome this with my mindset. I needed to think positive and claim. I grew up, my mother used to teach me, you have to think it in your head before anything's going to come to pass. And so I knew right then, I knew that I couldn't, I wanted something positive. We need to claim our outcome from the beginning. So C-Free, cancer-free logo was born that day. And now we make hats and t-shirts and coffee mugs and face masks and all kinds of wonderful things that you can do and to have in front of you to claim your outcome.
I love that. Well, and it's a daily reminder as you walk around with it proudly. And, I love that. And sometimes that's a very hard thing for people to admit, to say. They don't want people to know, but it's freeing to, put yourself out there, because there's lots of other people going through the same thing. And that connection, I think, is super important. So what is your ultimate vision for your business?
My goal, and this may sound silly and it's not selfish, but I really, really want this. I want the unbound ribbon to be bigger than the pink ribbon. The pink ribbon is everywhere in October. We get bombarded by pink everything. And I want this to symbolize positivity and not the dread of a crossed cancer ribbon. And C-Free as a business will give a portion of everything we sell to families in need. We have a lot of research going on, and I'm so happy about that because we need more research on cancer, all types of cancer. But my company gives back to families that are affected financially by cancer, because if you can have a burden of monetary relief, you can fight so much easier. And I know this as being a single mom going through chemo and working. So that's my goal, is to help people financially have the proceeds go right to the families.
That's awesome. Well, yeah, because it's a huge thing. Sometimes you're forced to take off work, which just then doubles the issue. So I'm curious, because in my mind, I don't see the pink ribbon as a negative sign. So I'm curious why you do, or what is your perspective of that ribbon, and why do you want to unwind it? I'm just very curious how you came up with that.
Okay, and that's an excellent question, and that's a very good question. Not to put down any money or any organization that has to do with pink, but there is a lot of pink washing going on, and what that is in October everything is pink, and there is so much money that's made with the idea that it's going towards research and going towards needs, when it's really not. It's a monetization of a terrible cancer. And that's where this came from. I want to, again, not to say that the ribbon is bad, but by untying it, it frees us up to have a positive attitude.
Okay. Yeah, I've never dealt with cancer, so I wasn't sure where you were coming from, or so I was just curious.
Yes.
So, what beliefs do you have that sets you apart from your competition? And I believe in collaboration, not competition. But what's your vision? What's your perspective on everything? And I love instead of the money from the merchandise going to research, I love that it's going straight to the families that are being affected. Is that the different perspective that you have?
That's a good question. When it comes to cancer, it's tough to say competition. Nobody wants to compete with something like this. So I think it's more of a different perspective. So not really a competition, but it's more, some people, the FUCK, that's a big stance, and it's something important, and it's a big organization, and they do give back as well. So good for them. But I think maybe it's not competition, but more of a sideline. You've got two roads going parallel. One is for people that really want to, give a basketful of hope, which is me, and then another perspective on it, which is, screw this. So I think that they probably go hand in hand. Everybody wants cancer gone. Everybody hates it, but it's just a different perspective.
Got you. Very cool. So what is the hardest thing that you've had to overcome when building your business? Was it, I'm curious, I've never created merchandise like that. Was it hard to come up with the logo and all that kind of stuff?
The logo came very easy.
Did it?
Yes, actually that same day, that same night, I went home and just drew it out. And it is trademarked, which is very cool. The hard part, Robin, was overcoming myself. The fear of failure, that I'm sure we all go through. The fear that nobody really cares what I have to say. And also, to answer the second part of your question, it's never done. Starting a business is never done. I didn't figure it out yet. It's a continual day-to-day basis where you're continually growing and making mistakes. And I think that my mom always used to tell me, you only regret the things that you don't do. So you just have to do it. If you have a passion, do it. If it doesn't work, that's fine. At least you tried. But
right.
So again, I think that overcoming your own my own doubts and fears was the hardest part. But now I know I must do it because again I have a purpose. God has me here. He saved me from something that most people don't live through, and I'm here for a reason. So I have to share it.
Yay! And I'm sure it feels good. I am sure
Yes.
It feels good. So very curious, and I ask everybody this because some people have it and some people don't. So do you have a support network of friends and family that are saying, Pamela, this is great that you're doing this, or, are you kind of winging it on your own because nobody really gets what you're doing? I'm just curious.
That's a great question. Both. I have a great network of family and friends that are very supportive, and they all encourage me to do this book. And so the book, I'm getting all kinds of help and encouragement, and through all things. So I'm being supported, but the work is being done by myself. Nobody's helping me, and they shouldn't. Everybody's got their lives and their businesses and their own quarantine. Life is going on as usual for each person. But so I'm getting the help, through encouragement, but nobody's doing my Instagram posts or my this I'm doing on my own, and again, as it should be, because this is something that this is the story of my life, and hopefully when the book comes out and people get to hear it, then things will change a little bit, and I'll have some more. I'll have to hire a dozen people to help distribute the money.
Yay! Very cool. So, what is your favorite thing about your business?
That I'm alive to be able to do it.
Yeah, and that's a whole different perspective that most of us don't have a clue about. But you and many other people, it's like there is no guarantee I'm coming out of this, and you came out of it twice, and that is just amazing. And that is the simplest thing, but thank God you're here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And truly, that's it. The favorite thing is that I can be doing it. And, sometimes in a very strange way, cancer is a gift, because, you can go through your whole life and just take things for granted. And then sometimes when things happen and you stop and you get closer to God and you become grateful for every moment, that is a gift.
Yes, it is. And it's all on how you look at things. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. Whether it looks ugly when it's happening, and that's something I got from Tony Robbins, is, you could look at it, life is happening to you or it's happening for you. The struggles are a gift. They really are, because you're going to be stronger if you can look at it that way. Just like this COVID, a lot of people think it's the worst thing ever. and there's so many blessings that people aren't realizing right now. And so you have to, if you could look at it from that perspective, this is a gift. It's a gift that I'm still here. Now I feel obligated and not obligated, but encouraged, and you feel like it's a must that you have to share your word. And I think that's so important because it's just probably the scariest thing that ever can happen to somebody.
Yes, it sure is.
Yeah.
It sure is.
So what inspires you and what are you passionate about? And it doesn't have to be business. I'm just curious.
What inspires me? Number one, my son, who is right now in boot camp for the United States Marine Corps.
Yay.
And he's inspiring me. He's so brave. And in the midst of this pandemic and quarantine, he's there in boot camp, preparing to fight for our country. So
And
very, very, very proud of him.
yeah. Thank God for soldiers. I could never have the courage to do that. I'm a wimp. But I'm very grateful, you know?
That's right.
Yeah. So who inspires you is the next question. And that's probably the same answer, I'm guessing, unless you have somebody else that really inspires you.
Jesus Christ. He died for our sins, and there's no bigger sacrifice than what he did for us.
So I'm curious, and it might be an off the wall question. Did you have that good relationship with him before cancer, or did you develop that when you're in the scariest point of your life? Because a lot of us, you know, that could be this relationship just happened with God, or it's been in my life. So I'm very curious about your situation.
Yes, I was raised as a Christian, and my mother instilled it into all 8 of us, all growing up, that the Bible and God and a true Christian faith. And when all of this happened, it just brought me closer, and I couldn't have done it without him. I couldn't have done it.
That's beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so big question. If you could leave one golden nugget or tip for everybody, and this is the only chance that you had to tell them, and it was the only thing that you could tell them, what would it be?
I only get one?
One. Well, you can combine a few, but yes, so this is your one shot to get it out there. What's the most important thing that you would like to tell people?
Okay, the most important thing, without a doubt, hands down, is get to know Jesus. Please. Right now we're living in really scary times, and read Revelations, because that's the truth. That, along with be positive, have a positive mindset. Always give people the benefit of the doubt. If they say the sky is green, just agree with people. You just, unless it's something, that's hurtful, give people the benefit of the doubt. Love your neighbors. Be happy. Enjoy your life, and have a positive mindset.
Yeah, because that's what's going to get us through. Awesome. Is there anything else that you would like to share? And I know that you want to give away a little ebook called Do's and Don'ts When Diagnosed with Cancer, which I think will help a lot of people, because, a lot of them don't have guidance, and they really need guidance right now. So is there anything else that you would like to share? And then we will tell them how to get that little ebook.
Just come and visit me. You're going to get my website. Please, what I want to encourage is, you can, if you know somebody or have a loved one that is diagnosed or going through cancer, I love flowers, but just remember that they die. Giving the gift of positivity will last a lifetime. Get somebody a hat or a t-shirt or something that's going to help them to claim that they can be cancer free. It's got to be in your head before you can survive. Not everybody's going to survive cancer, but we're not going to survive out of this life. So it's how we get through each day. And I also have a podcast that runs every day, and it's C-free, cancer-free, and it's 2 minutes a day of positive nuggets. So today's was on cayenne pepper and adding it to your diet. So I encourage you to, turn it on, subscribe to my podcast, 2 minutes a day.
Oh, I love that. I didn't even think that you could do a podcast for 2 minutes a day. It would have never occurred to me, but I love that. Okay, so for everybody listening, if you would like to get the free ebook, Do's and Don'ts When Diagnosed with Cancer, go to cancerfreeliving.life. So CancerFreeliving.life, LIFE. And then it'll be on the front page. Just leave your name and email, and then she will email you that ebook, and hopefully that helps you. And that is the gift that Miss Pamela is giving us today. And I appreciate everybody being here. Please reach out if you are struggling with cancer. There's lots of people out there who have came through it, like Miss Pamela, who has great perspective on, different, and not only what, this do's and don'ts. She has health tips and all sorts of stuff to help you go through the process when you're going through chemo and when you're feeling just as crappy as you could possibly feel. You do need to feed your body nutrients and stuff so she's got a lot more to offer than just this. So, reach out to those that are wanting to help people up and hold your hand while you're going through the toughest time of your life. So, and thank you so much, Pamela, for being here. I can't wait for people to hear this message. And I appreciate you.
Thank you, Robin, so very much.
You're welcome. Bye, guys. Hello, everybody. I have Miss Pamela here. How you doing today?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can.
Hello. Thank you so much for what you're doing. This is really very, very cool. Very awesome. Well done.
Oh, no problem. It is my pleasure. And I am loving these interviews and being able to get the word out there for all of the important stuff that all of you guys are doing is just amazing. And what a story. And I'm not sure if you were able to watch that because I know you were doing other things, but you'll get a copy of your interview. But I
did watch it. It was cool.
And it wasn't weird to see it after.
Yes,
so
I was like, I'm really, truly not that heavy, am I?
You are beautiful. You are beautiful.
Thank you.
So do you have any comments about the video now that you've seen it?
I think it was done just right. It was the questions you asked were perfect, and my answers were truly from the heart. I didn't have to think or stumble. It all just was natural because it was truth.
Absolutely. And Irene was in here saying, I feel you. I understand. Beautiful. Somebody, I can't see who it is. They said, I love the take on your vision of the ribbon.
Oh, thank you.
And then thank you for such an inspiration. Absolutely. And, like I said, I've never experienced cancer. I wouldn't have even be able to fathom the fear that people go through that. And so I love what you're doing. And so do you want to talk a little bit more about your do's and don'ts when diagnosed with cancer so people know what more to expect from that?
No, I don't. I want them to go to my webpage and get it for themselves because truly there's some really good things in there. Having been through it, part of my purpose is to help people to not do something that they shouldn't do or to, not being a doctor. I'm talking basically mental health and, but there's a lot of great nuggets on what to do and what not to do. So no, they have to just, everybody needs to just download it. And unfortunately, everybody knows somebody with cancer. So
Unfortunately.
even if you don't have it, or immediate family doesn't, go ahead and download this free resource so you can share it.
Yes. And just a reminder, I am going to put that in the Facebook group in the Coach Summit under the post topic. So I don't know if you actually get to see that if you're on your phone, but on the computer, you can see post topics, and that's where I have the giveaways. And so I will have the website and where to go to download that. And please share this interview. Both of the ladies today, the message is so impactful and so emotional. They are both emotional topics today, but actual real topics that people go through all the time. Miss Joyce Martella, she said, great to have Pamela on. My sister passed from breast cancer, and I wish she had heard your message. Thank you for doing this. God bless.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I will put that in there for sure. And so the merchandise, what kind of merchandise do you have? And is that also on the website where you would see?
It is on the website, and I have hats and t-shirts, and we just did a line of face masks. And my book, I don't know if we mentioned my book, but it's coming out October 1st. Oh, we did
Okay.
talk about it. Midlife cancer crisis. And so that's exciting. Really busy with that stuff right now. But so yeah, a lot of good things going on.
Good. And somebody else said, thank you, Pamela. Your story was touching. Bravo. Great interview. My mother had cancer and lived to be 96. She died of natural causes.
Oh, praise God.
Yeah. And I work with a lady who's had cancer twice, and lots of personal friends. Yeah, we all are affected by it, whether it's in our bodies. It is definitely in our social sphere, whether that's family or friends. Yes. So I love that. Please, again, everybody share. And Pamela is also going to be in the group, so you could reach out to her and ask her questions and engage in conversations. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about this Coach Summit is the coaches are there, they're reachable, and you can connect with them right on the spot, and I love that. So I want to talk a little bit about the Indiegogo campaign. So we have 3 days left for the Indiegogo campaign. So this is your chance to actually become a member of Only the Inspired for the cheapest you can ever get it. So there's 3 different packages or perks on the Indiegogo. So you could do a $25. So that's a 1 month, which normally the full price of Only the Inspired memberships, $127. You could do a $99, and that's 3 months on Only the Inspired, or you could do $299, which is a full year. So that's like $25 a month. If you break it down, which is a screaming deal. You're never going to get that. But there's 3 days left to do that. I could definitely appreciate any support. I'm launching this thing. I know it's going to impact so many people, and I would appreciate your guys' support. I'm trying to launch this big old giant coach platform. And so any love you guys could give, great, and share that also. And Lachelle said, especially when 1 out of 7 women will get cancer in their life, 80% are not genetically linked. I used to fundraiser for women's cancer for 20 years, full-time for 14 years. Love Pamela's story. I know it's so touching, and to survive colon cancer and liver cancer. Wow. So did they take your whole liver or liver transplant, or what all did they do exactly?
They took a good part, almost half of it. And our livers are amazing because they're the one organ that will grow back. But they thought that they were just going to take about a quarter, but by the time they got in there, it had grown already. So it was really right on time. But they took almost half of it. And It was a tough one. I've been through many surgeries through these cancers, and it was a tough one, but hey, I'm a tough gal, and anybody can get through it. You just have to just have peace through God, and pray your way through anything you're going through. Pray your way through it and you'll get there.
Absolutely. So how long have you been cancer free?
Let's see. So last month it was 6 years.
Woo! Yay! Fantastic. And that is just beautiful news.
And I had my scans yesterday. I have them twice a year for the rest of my life. And yesterday was the first time that I went through the scan and didn't cry. So I'm getting there.
Cry from the fear of not knowing, or what?
You know, it's if you ever, and God forbid it would ever happen to anybody listening, but when you ever get cancer, there's always the fear. There's always a kind of a cloud. You know, I push it away all the time. I push that cloud away. But you know, when you're going through the scan, it kind of puts everything. It brings everything right back again. So the tears are just, you know, a lot of different emotions, but no tears yesterday. So life goes on and we can all heal.
Absolutely. Lachelle said, so glad they found it early enough. I know many people who had liver. Pamela's faith sustains her. Yay, she passed the 5-year mark. Huge.
Yes.
Yay.
That's so nice. So nice. All the people. So nice. The comments. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. And I love what you're doing. And just so everybody knows, we have at least three coaches on this 70 Coach Summit who have overcame cancer. And, you know, and that's huge. And that's 3 out of 70. And, you know, it was an accelerator for what they're doing. And they're trying to help people go through that process because, just like I'm sure, Pamela, you going through the chemo and stuff, unless you've actually been through it, you wouldn't quite understand.
No.
Right?
No.
Right. And I heard it's hard for you to drink water. It's hard for you to eat. It's just so hard on your body, but it worked. Yay.
Yes, it did.
Yay. Fantastic. Awesome. So if you guys have any questions for Pamela or Raya, please reach out to them in the group and look under the giveaways, and then you could get both the ebook and then the 20-minute session with Raya. And so tomorrow we have 2 more amazing interviews with coaches. So we have Miss Claudia, and I am so bad at pronouncing names, Taboda, I think. And so Claudia's story is just absolutely amazing. One of her sons was highly, highly autistic, and she is an attorney, and she basically had to pull back from her attorney career to take care of her highly autistic son. And it was about 9 years into that when she actually realized that she hadn't taken any time for herself. So she is a self-care women's empowerment coach. And her story is so powerful with everything that she went through and how she's completely turned everything around. Because a lot of times when we give, you forget to give to yourself, and that's super important. And then we also have Robert Kittredge, and I loved his interview, and he's really talking about how to release those negative stories, and sometimes those negative stories that have been with you for 30, 40, 50 years of your life, and how to release those and to become fully expressed into who you are and what possibilities are for you. So I can't wait for those interviews tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Please invite your friends to join the group and share the videos and help us impact as many people as we can. And thank you very much, Pamela, for being here. I'm super excited that I was able to help you share your mission, and I can't wait until your book comes out. That's got to be super exciting.
It is. And thank you for what you're doing. And it was my honor. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we will talk to you guys later. Thank you and see you tomorrow morning. Okay, bye.